Air, everywhere around us. Introduction. Air is something present everywhere around us. It is invisible, but is the most important component of life on the earth. Though it is invisible, but of course we can feel it. We can also see it as swaying of the leaves and fluttering of the pages of our notebook. Winnowing, a method of separating substances, is based on wind. Electricity is also generated from the wind, which is moving air. Air surrounds the earth like a blanket. This blanket of air is called atmosphere. Atmosphere extends above the surface of the earth up to 500 kilometers. Its layers get thinner and thinner on going higher. To show the presence of air, all of us have played with paper aeroplanes in our childhood. Now, let us repeat it and observe a few facts. Take a sheet of paper and fold it into an aeroplane. Release it into the air with a little force by keeping the pointed end outside. It is nothing but air which is present everywhere. We observe that air helps in floating the paper aeroplanes before it comes to the ground. Thus, we come to the conclusion that air is present everywhere. Air is a matter. Matter is defined as something which occupies space, is affected by gravity, and has weight. Thus, there are two necessities for the air to be matter. They are, it should occupy space, it should have mass. Here are some activities to show that air is a matter that has weight and occupies space. Take an empty glass and a tub of water. Ensure that nothing is there inside the glass. Invert the glass in tilted position into the tub. You will observe that bubbles come out of the glass and water rushes in to take its place. Conclusion. When the empty space is there inside the tumbler, it means only air is there. Thus, when water has to fill in the glass, air has to leave. Earlier it was air that was occupying this space. Hence, air occupies space. Take two balloons. Balance them on a stick. Then inflate one of the balloons. We see that the stick tilts to the side of the inflated balloon. Conclusion. Since the stick tilts to the side of an inflated balloon, it shows that air has mass. Composition of air. Air is a mixture of gases. It is not made up of any single element. The composition of air varies from place to place. The major constituents are oxygen 21%, nitrogen 78%, carbon dioxide 1%, water vapor, dust, smoke and other gases 1%. Oxygen. We inhale air. All plants, animals and human beings breathe in oxygen present in the air. Even plants and animals living in water use oxygen dissolved in water. Fish take in oxygen dissolved in water through their gills. Animals living in water use the air dissolved in water. Aquatic animals use this air to survive. The oxygen present in air is used for respiration. All living things take up oxygen present in air. This oxygen combines with food to release carbon dioxide and a lot of energy. The process is called respiration. The energy produced helps us to perform various activities. Apart from respiration, all fuels burn in the presence of oxygen to release carbon dioxide. Plants need air to grow as they take oxygen during respiration. The air is present between soil particles. The presence of air in soil can be shown by adding water to dry soil. Some insects or earthworms moving in the soil take the air present in the soil for respiration. Thus, oxygen is also referred to as the life-giving gas. 21% of the air is oxygen. Plants give out oxygen during photosynthesis. It is oxygen that also helps in burning. To prove this, we perform a simple activity. Take 2 candles and light them. Invert a glass tumbler on one of them and observe. After some time, the candle on which glass tumbler is inverted is put off. This shows that there is a component in the air which helps in burning. This component is oxygen. Nitrogen. There is a component in air that does not support combustion. This component is nitrogen. Nitrogen gas makes up 78% of air. This gas does not help in burning of a substance. It is due to the presence of nitrogen that all the living things burn at a normal level. Nitrogen is used to make fertilizers. Fertilizers are added to the soil which help in the growth of plants because they contain vital minerals. Nitrogen gas is also used in food packaging to keep the food fresh. Carbon dioxide. When we blow air on a candle, it is put off. It is because carbon dioxide is the gas that we give out during breathing. When anything burns, the gas produced is carbon dioxide. This gas does not support burning and hence used in fire extinguisher. 0.03% of the air is carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is taken in by green plants during photosynthesis. Humans, plants and animals take in oxygen gas for respiration and release carbon dioxide. Water vapor. The amount of water vapor present in the air is not fixed. It varies from place to place. In coastal areas, the air has greater percentage of water vapor, whereas in deserts, the amount of water vapor is less in air. Take a glass and fill it with ice cubes. Leave it for 2 to 3 minutes. You see droplets of water on the glass. This is nothing but water vapor, which is present in the air. The water vapor, on coming in contact with the cool surface, condenses into droplets of water. Dust and smoke. If we observe a fine beam of light entering a dark room, we see fine particles of dust in it. Thus, air contains dust particles. The percentage of dust in air varies from place to place. A crowded street has a higher percentage of dust and smoke in comparison to an open place like your garden. The air we breathe in also contains dust, which is filtered by the fine hairs inside our nostrils. Mucus present in the inner lining of the nose also helps us in getting rid of the dust. Thus, it is always advisable to breathe through the nose rather than the mouth. Maintenance of oxygen. The oxygen that is present in the air is used by all living creatures. Then, all the oxygen present in the air should come to an end. But this is not what actually happens. The question is, from where does this oxygen get replenished in the air? The answer to this question lies with the green plants. Green plants take in carbon dioxide during the process of photosynthesis. It is during this process that the food for the plant is prepared. The end products of this process are glucose and oxygen. This oxygen is released into the air. This is how oxygen is balanced in the air. Air in soil and water. Air is necessary for life. Then how do the creatures living in the soil and water get the air? Let us see if water and soil also contain air or not. Roots also respire, and creatures like earthworms, snakes, which stay in the soil, also breathe. Thus, it is clear that there is air in the soil. When we boil water in a container, we can see bubbles coming out of it. Observe this. You require a vessel for boiling water. Put some water in it and heat it. You will see fine bubbles in the bottom of the vessel. These bubbles are formed due to dissolved gases in the water. Thus, water contains dissolved air, which can be used up by the marine plants and animals. Importance of air. Air is very important and required by all living things. The reasons behind saying that air is life are: land animals and plants breathe in air, oxygen. Green plants take in air, carbon dioxide, which is formed as a result of respiration, to prepare their food by the process of photosynthesis. Oxygen evolved during photosynthesis is used by living beings in respiration. Thus, plants help in maintaining the balance of carbon dioxide and oxygen in nature. Aquatic plants and animals take in dissolved air. Animals living inside land take in air from the soil. Oxygen is used in the oxygen cylinders for medical purposes. Moving air is called wind. Wind helps in sailing of yachts and sailboats. Skydivers can float safely down to the ground with the help of parachutes. The air pushes up against the parachutes and slows the fall of the skydivers. Windmills generate electricity. Wind brings about dispersal of seeds. Air helps to separate husk from grains by the method of winnowing. Air helps the birds and aeroplanes to fly. Air maintains temperature on the Earth's surface.